Hello, my name is Philip Chavez, and I'm the creative director for CAI Designs. And today, walking through our digital door is co-founder, as well as creative director, as well as sales and marketing director, Gretchen Gabrielli.
Hi, Philip. It's so great to be here. I love to get to talk to you about what we both have such a passion for.
Me too. I'm super stoked. So we're going to jump in to start talking about some finishes. We're going to talk about metalwork. We're going to talk about the evolution of the company. And I can't wait.
Good deal. I'm looking forward to it.
I remember when I first started with CAI, we were really racking our brains as to how to make designers understand that Old Biscayne Designs OBD is incredibly approachable, right?
And I think why Old Biscayne was intimidating and is intimidating to designers is they get overwhelmed. And then their client is telling them that what they want something, and they're trying to make that all of that functionality go into a particular space in their home, and they don't know exactly what it looks like yet. So whereas used to, you would just find the one that was actually that size that could fit there, and that gave you the limitations, and that's what you'd select. Now the sky's the limit.
Exactly. And what I really especially love about Old Biscayne Designs is the team that you work with. You have a very knowledgeable team, and also yourself, of course, as a primary resource. I mean, I'm fortunate enough that I directly reach out to you if I need anything. So thank you very much.
Because we have fun together.
But the second one is the fact that the versatility is just really there. I'm the type of person that kind of has my own style as far as clothing and as far as interior design. But when it comes to creating things, I love to have things that other people don't in their homes.
When we first started, we were actually just reproducing furniture that had been done before verbatim. I mean, we basically were reproducing European antiques. And I think what is so refreshing about where Old Biscayne has gone from there is now we listen to you and listen to your designers and what all of those tiny little details are that you shake up and bring to us. And then we meld all those together and then evolve a design that's actually your own personal creation. And it doesn't have to be scary. It can just be, okay, I like this French leg, but I really want something that's very clean on the top, and I don't want the crown to be too fussy. I want to take out all the carving. So many times it is just this wonderful eclectic mix of ideas from all of the furniture periods and then putting them together in interesting new ways.
And there's something to be said about this like traveled feeling where it doesn't feel like it was forced. Instead, it just felt like it found you instead. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, that's neat. Well, and so many times too, I like for the details on a piece of furniture, like you're saying, I like for them to feel collected, but it's your collection. It's not Old Biscayne's collection. So you collected a detail from France, and then you went to Portugal and you picked up this other little flourish, and then you put them all together, and it's suddenly a Philip piece that's that. And I think that that's what we're making.
Yeah.
You nailed it.
Absolutely. It's super fun. I mean, I think too what really, and now we're going to the third point. I mean, these are some serious points, guys, but the third point is there is something to be said about how you have figured out the art of the finish. The art of the finish that you, Old Biscayne Designs, really has. I mean, when I first met you, that's when the silk finishes came out. And I mean, these people are painstakingly cross-hatching layers of color all together. And it creates this this romantic depth of color and design that just is so exciting. So tell me about that, please.
I have a painting background, so that layering color and layering techniques, always when I was painting canvases, the surface of the canvas was as important as the imagery, and probably even more so. I mean, I always like to be able to feel a canvas or to feel a piece of art. And one of my favorite finishes that we just came out with, actually last market, was one that was called Salvaged Palm.
Ooh,
and it
yes.
came actually a big chunk of a palm tree that had fallen on the beach, and I took a lot of pictures of it, and I brought it back, and we experimented with some dry brushing techniques in that, and then mixing the different layers in ways that it kind of reproduced the feeling of a palm. But then we brought in gold glazes and silver glazes and did some underpainting on it that made, I mean, if I told you that was from a palm tree, you go, Gretchen, you've lost your mind. It has nothing to do with it. That's what the inspiration was, you know, the layering, the way that it had been distressed and that, but it had nothing to do with that.
Now, on to another point of why I love your company is when I was in art school, I fell in love with the lost cast process and foundry and small metal smithing and patinas and working with things in that very artisanal nature. You all do the same thing with your hardware. You do the same thing, and you Flourishes, I should say. I'll use the right vocabulary. I'll remember. But I mean, the Flourishes, and then also creating window treatment hardware. So tell me, how did that come into your business as well?
Well, when we were importing European antique beds, so many of them were iron beds, and they had those beautiful original castings on each one of the joins. When we first started manufacturing beds, the way beds were held together were really to put a big bronze casting on any particular joint and then pour a special alloy in there. And the casting was the thing that would hold together the horizontal with the vertical. And we found that over time, those antique beds would become very rattly and were really not stable. So what we added to the process when we started reproducing them is we welded a whole infrastructure together first, and then we put the decorative castings on the top of them. And we became so fascinated with all the intricate design work that was in each one of the castings. We found that it was like making jewelry. So when we saw that it was like making jewelry, we thought, why not just make jewelry for our own furniture? And we kind of just fell into the hardware business just because we were doing the castings on the beds, and then we wanted to add it to the drawers and the doors and that on the wooden furniture. And suddenly we were creating our own hardware pieces just to go on each piece of furniture.
That's so wild. And I mean, you have gone through this amazing transition of having a certain few designs with your hardware, but now it's so expansive and so many different finishes now. And so I really, really love this direction that you're adding all of these beautiful finishes mixed with these really beautiful, either simple or ornate flourishes as well. And I mean, beautiful architecture. I love it. It's so good.
Well, thank you. What is one of the neatest things for me in working with CAI and working with your showrooms is you always bring such neat people to the table, and you bring people that are fascinated with the process of furniture and finding exactly the right finish and the right proportion and the right size and that. And it's been so fascinating for me to see how your design team there at CAI, how you're able to translate what they're trying to say into the furniture that they're actually trying to make. And you know what? That's a real talent, because you almost have to crawl into somebody's mind's eye and pull out what that vision is verbally. And then we have to go through the website and pick out style elements and go check, yes, that's what I saw, check, yes, that's what I saw, and bring all those elements together so you can actually help them bring to fruition the vision that's really at that point just something that's in their head. It's more like a dream piece.
Absolutely. Well, Gretchen, we want to thank you for walking through our digital design door and talking to us a little bit about what we both love in this world is design and inspiring people. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you, dear. What a treat. I enjoyed it.